starter. We'll just leave it there. Right, let's get into the round number 16. Like I said, this will become the preview show, the prediction show. We're going to give a little shout out to our sponsor, and then we're going to crack on. Here we go.
He's target 5. Here comes Koala.
Love that crunch.
Let me add a little bit of spice.
So there you go. That's the wrong one. I hate it when I do this. I really do hate it when I do this. It'll be here in a minute. I'm having a nightmare. I'm having an absolute shocker tonight. Apologies to everybody who's watching. I should be sacked.
No, don't apologise, Dave.
Not at all. Yeah, unbelievable. What's going on there? Anyway, luckily, I think I know them all off the top of my head anyway, so we'll get rid of the graphic and we'll just do it anyway. Wigan take on the Leigh Leopards. Warrington Wolves host the Huddersfield Giants. Leeds Rhinos have got the London Broncos this week for them. Saints will host the Castleford Tigers. Hull KR are taking on the Catalan Dragons, and bringing the curtain down is Salford and Hull FC. Not bad off the top of your head. There you go. Good job of doing a bit of prep going into these weeks, isn't it? Anyway, there you go. Let's take a look at where the prediction league was when we last left it. This is, of course, right. Joel still winning the prediction league this season thus far. I'm just behind him there on 226. And as you can see, it's Greg is going to be getting some pints bought from him by Stef at this rate at the end of season Super League do for the grand final. All right, this is the league table after 15 rounds, of course. The eagle-eyed amongst you, don't forget, Leopards and the Warriors still have that game in hand when they take on each other. And this is not that week, by the way. This is the normal week. That's coming a bit later in the season. But the Warriors are top with that game in hand. Then it's the Saints and the Robins who are doing tremendously well. The Wolves, the Red Devils and the Dragons holding on. They're having a bit of, after all that fanfare we've just given the Dragons in terms of the comp, they are in free fall in 2024 at this moment in time, but they are hanging on there, as you can see, to the 6th spot. Then it's the Leeds Rhinos, of course, closer again, having come through that game against Leigh, that emotional evening in round 15, the Rob Burrow game, of course. They're now just 2 points off the top 6. Then it's the Giants, Leopards, Tigers, Hull FC, Broncos. That's where we are. Right, let's get into the first game, and it's arguably the game of the week. It's the Wigan Warriors taking on the Leigh Leopards. Since 2005, they played each other 11 times, and it's 10 to the Warriors, 1 to the Leigh Leopards. The last 5 have all gone the way of Wigan over Leigh. In terms of the current form guide in Super League, 5 wins on the spin for Matty Pete. As you can see there, form has been improving slightly, but it really is now do or die time for the Leigh Leopards. They really do need to get on some sort of winning run if they are going to challenge that top 6 this year and give the likes of Tom Amone, Kai O'Donnell and co the fitting send-off that they deserve, a playoff place at the end of the season. First against 9th. As you can see, 403 plays 264 in the attacking stakes. Wigan 164 in defence to Leigh's 226. Not too bad. 1-4 on the Warriors. 16-5 if you fancy the Leigh Leopards. The last time that Leigh beat Wigan was in 2017. 50 points to 34 at the LSB in round number 18. Since then, Wigan have beaten Leigh on 7 successive occasions with an average score of 32 points to 9. And you'd think that Leigh would be getting slightly better. Such was their competitiveness last year. Not at all. Since Leigh has returned back to Super League, believe it or not, they have still conceded 32 to Wigan in those games, albeit they have improved their attack by just the 1 point, 32 points to 10, as opposed to 32 points to 9. Wigan, no field for this one. Wardle and Lehman are also doubts. Kieran and Dupree will be back from their bans, and word on the street says that O'Brien, Mulhern and Asiata could return for the Wigan Warriors. 2 really good teams. When Leigh are on, they're on. Dare I say, Catalan Dragons game earlier in the season. If that Leigh Leopard shows up, Greg, we could be in for a really entertaining game on Friday night at the Brick Community Stadium.
Yeah. It's like the Tough Sheet Stadium in Bolton, isn't it? Who thinks these names up? Yeah, I think this is going to be a close one, to be honest. I think Leigh will be up for this. you don't know what's going to happen after a week off. It's the same as what's going to happen after a cup final and things like that. So I think this is going to be quite a close game, especially if Leigh have got some of those players back. I still see Wigan winning it, but I think Wigan 1-8. I don't think it's going to be quite. I don't think Wigan are going to quite have it their own way. I think it's going to be a close one. 1-8 Wigan.
Do you know what?
It's obviously going to be 64-0 to Wigan now.
I'd love it 1-8 either way. Yeah, because let's be honest, that would be a very delicious game. I mean, look, we've just talked about the diabolical nature of the international game. Let's absolutely bask in the glory of this. We have got one hell of a roster on both sides on the field of play this coming Friday night. You've got the French, not quite in the form that he has been in, but we know he's dynamite player. Moylan's in great form. You got Lockie Lamb there. You just moaning the front.
You've also got the young kids who have come through at Wigan over the last few weeks as well.
You have. You've also got
Zach Eckersley's and players like that.
On the other side, mate, as well. Only on the other side. I see the back, a moan against Thompson there. Two good hookers in his Pape.
That's a good matchup.
Oh, mate, that could be outstanding. I mean, dear me, hold on. All I would say is before you go out on Friday to watch whatever team you're going to watch, make sure you screw down all your furniture because we could be having earthquakes coming from Leigh. That could be the epicenter when those two collide on Friday. This is what it's all about. Promote the greatest game on earth. Come on. Let's have a bit of action in round number 16. Steph, you hopefully will be there to see this one. Massive game for you. Could you do it? Could you?
Yeah, I'm not. I know. I'm at a Fat Boy Slim concert in Manchester. I know, crazy. I hadn't even. It was booked last year, so I'll be raving in Manchester, but having it on Sky on my phone.
You know what, Steph? I normally praise you, but not.
I know. Oh, brilliant!
You know what I mean?
Hey, it's right here, right now. That's where we're
mate. Well, it's a good job we've got a caravan of love in a Fat Boy Slim kind of way. Moving on, mate.
Yeah. So no, unfortunately, I won't be there, but I will be tuning in. But yeah, I think it's really encouraging that we've got Asiata potentially coming back. Mulhern coming back is massive for us. And O'Brien as well. So we are getting back to what would be our probably starting 17. I think what I would say with that though is those players coming back are not going to be match fit, so they're going to take a few weeks to get back into it, especially your likes of Asiata, who's only played I think one full game this season. So and also, the other interesting ones, Farriman in this one, obviously being a Leigh lad. He actually got mentioned in Adrian Lamb's press conference today. I don't know whether Lamb's trying to sign him up, kind of thing, but that'd be an interesting one if we poached him back. I can't see Wigan letting him go. But no, he's got all the things. I mean, it's dead interesting that Wigan are the only team since we became the Leopards that we've not beaten in Super League now. So hopefully it's coming. Unfortunately, I don't see it in this game. I think Wigan are going to be that bit too strong for us. If we'd have had those players back a few weeks earlier and they were getting back to fitness, then I think it may be we may have a slightly better chance. But I think Wigan at home are going to just be a bit too good for us, and I've gone Wigan 9-17.
Wigan 9-17. Let's get into the chat then. I agree with Paul Boardman. I have to say, whatever happens, I want a good game. So do I.
Yeah.
An absolute belt to this. Lorraine's with us. Wigan 1-8. She's going, which is a good, same as Greg, as is Callum Calver. He's gone the same way. Nicola Burton back in her own team. Leigh 1-8. Wouldn't expect anything less from a Leopard. Would you, Steph? Unbelievable.
No.
Get in there, Nicola. Show some faith. John Costello 1-16 for Wigan. Dawn Kirkby, Wigan 9-17. Peter Mason 30 points to 12 to Steph. I didn't know Steph was playing. I think he means Wigan there. Craig is going Wigan 1-8. Warriors 16-0. Rennox is going. So pretty much everybody there going the way of the Wigan Warriors. Gary Schofield's gone Wigan 18+. I'm going Wigan 9-17. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I will be. I think Wigan will win this one. Greg, as we've heard, 1-8. Joel's gone Wigan 1-8. And the fans form have gone Wigan 18+. Of course, we heard Steph say Wigan 9-17. So all the fingers pointing the way of the Wigan Warriors on Friday night. Right, let's move over now to the Halliwell Jones Stadium as the Huddersfield Giants come to town. Since 1998, it's Warrington 40, Huddersfield 22. The last 5, 3-2, a bit closer. You can see there Warrington have won the last three, won 3 in the last 5. Just the 1 win in the last 5 for the Huddersfield Giants. It's 4th against 8th. Not an awful lot separating them in terms of places, albeit points is a bit different. Attack, 358 plays 298, 60-point difference there. Defence, Warrington 213 to Huddersfield's 317. Warrington are 1-4 on in this, 16-5 if you're a Huddersfield Giants fan and you like a little punt. Don't forget, go over to Rugby League 3/4. They'll be telling you all the accumulators and all that stuff as well. These are played 25 times at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, and Warrington have won 17 of those 25 times. Huddersfield's last win was a 26-20 win in round 6 of 2021. Only, here's an interesting one for you, Greg. This is a really interesting one. Only Josh Fewlis, Toby King, Ben Curry, Stefan Ratchford, Joe Greenwood, and Luke Yates, who were a part of that game, would have a chance of playing this week. I mean, that's unbelievable. When you think 3 years ago that took place, and that's how many players could potentially feature. Of course, Matty English is out on loan. If he was to be recalled and play, he also played on that day, and it's renowned. For those of you who know your history, it's renowned that game because it was the one that Greg Inglis scored a try for Warrington. We won't talk about that one. Anyway, Warrington.
Was that the one where Huddersfield were cruising at half time and we came back into it?
It was, and Mr. English.
Post-COVID, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was just after. He's spot on. Warrington have announced that Lachlan Fitzgibbon should return. That's a massive boost for the Wire. Crowther will not be there. Ashton 50-50. Huddersfield are still going to be without Swift, Murchie Livett, and Cudjoe. So some big losses there for the Huddersfield Giants. Again, just going back to our in conversation guest, Josh Griffin, big friends with Jake Connor. He had a bit to say about Jake's current plight as well. So you want to tune into that, members, when the link comes to you in the next 24 hours. And for those who aren't members, you'll be able to watch that a week on Wednesday at 8 p.m. But like I say, Josh doesn't hold back on all things Hull FC. Jake Connor, it's a really... And also... one of Greg's favourite friends, Mr. Kendall, his famous sending off against Saints. He has something to say about that and all. So, well worth a watch. Well worth a watch. Right, let's get into this one. I'll start with you, Steph, because it's Warrington. Warrington against Huddersfield. Really looking forward to seeing Greg Roach in the flesh on Friday night and having a beer with him before the game. Really looking forward to that. What's your thoughts? The Giants and the Wolves, where's it going to go, Steph?
I think... it's no coincidence Huddersfield's form has just gone off a cliff since Swift has been injured. I think it's really affected Huddersfield. I think that because he was the one who was getting over the line for him consistently, and obviously you link that with the Connor troubles and stuff. You can see where they've been derailed a bit. Wire's form's been pretty bad as well since Wembley, hasn't it? So I think the week off has probably give Warrington a chance to maybe regroup a little bit, have a bit of time off, and it's a bit like a restart the season, not stop the season now, restart the season now kind of thing. So yeah, I think that will really benefit Warrington. But Huddersfield, one thing they have done this season is travelled quite well. The games where they have picked up wins have been away from home. So I think for me, it all depends on which side turns up on the night. If they both turn up, it could be a real classic. I just think Sam will have got into Warrington, and I think they'll just have a bit too much for Huddersfield. I've gone 9-17 Wire. 9-17 Wire. I have to giggle. I have to say it. Neil Rennox has done you there in the chat. Farriman, born in Leigh, polished in Wigan. That's a beauty, that. There is a saying about polishing in something, isn't there?
There's one thing that Mr. Farriman isn't. He isn't one of those.
No.
Absolutely outstanding. Dawn saying that Farriman signed a 4-year deal at the start of the season contract. Mean nothing, Dawn. All I would say is this. Farriman, based on that, what he did last week, if he carries on playing like that, Field, French, Smith and Farriman, 4 into 3 places just doesn't go. And all 4 are starters. So could be interesting. Could be really interesting. Would it be Field? Could Field be the one? I don't know. Going to be interesting. Going to be, if Farron carries on the way he is, that's going to be one to watch. Greg, back to the Halliwell Jones. It's fair to say, last outing at the Halliwell really, really poor against the Salford Red Devils. It was a shocking display. They need to bounce back big time here, back in front of the home crowd on Friday.
They do. People perceive it as a bad performance. It wasn't that bad. It was just that Salford were that much better when they got the ball in hand and moved it. And there were three tries from nothing in the first half after we dominated for about 20 minutes. And again, the age-old adage with Warrington, get 10 yards from the line, they can't get through the defence. And going back to what Steph said about a week off, if there's one team that perennially doesn't benefit from a week off, it's Warrington. We seem to make a cabbage of it every time we have a week off. Huddersfield have been travelling well. Huddersfield came back well last time out. I think Warrington will win. I think it'll be 9-17. I don't think it'll be the walkover that a lot of people are predicting. I think Warrington 9-17. I think Huddersfield will put up a good performance. Steve's saying they were shocking. Now, I've watched the game back, to be honest. The heads went down after that third try went in from Salford. First 20 minutes, they looked decent, and they just were hit on the counter 3 times in that first half and came back well in the second half, to be honest. Could have actually won the game, even though they didn't deserve it in the second half. But I think going back to the Huddersfield game, I think 9-17, I think Huddersfield will put up a good performance. I hope Warrington don't go 12-0 up because they seem to put the cue on the rack when they go 12-0 up. I hope it's competitive early on, and I hope Huddersfield put a good performance in. Got a real soft spot for Huddersfield, but I've got to say this time Warrington 9-17.
Cabbages on Super League Raw, courtesy of the Nixon. He was rubbing his Swede at the Salford game, and hopefully he will be sprouting loud and proud at Halliwell Jones Stadium this weekend.
They were the sausage rolls at Salford, Reggie.
It's always sausage rolls.
Sausage roll at Salford. Right, let's get into the chat. Dawn Baker, Wire 9-17. Paul Boardman, Wire by 20. Neil Rennick saying Wire by 12. Pete Mason, Warrington 20. 10 for the Huddersfield Giants. John Costello, Wire 9-14. Win. Nicola Burton will go on the Wire 9-17. Craig Forth 9-17. Dawn Kirby the same. Lorraine's going Warrington. Is anybody going Huddersfield? No, nobody's going Huddersfield. Gary Schofield's going Wire by 22. I'm going Wire 9-17. Joel is going Wire 9-17, as is the Fans Forum. So everybody going the way of the Warrington Wolves. Right, another game on Friday night. If I'm right in thinking this, yes, I am. It's the Saints taking on Castleford Tigers. Since 1996, it's 52-10 to Saints. Wow, just wow. The last 5 have all gone the way of the Saints as well. The form guide, 4 wins, and of course that loss to Salford last time out for the Saints. It's a long time ago now, that win for the Castleford Tigers. They've lost 4 in the last 5. It's second against 10. 423 points scored by the Saints this season to 238 for Castleford. Look at the points against as well. 1-6 on the Saints. The Tigers 8-1 if you fancy that. Don't get me wrong, Castleford will be buoyed by their recent form against Wigan and KR, losing by 2 and 1 point respectively, albeit both were at the Jungle. They weren't on away soil. The Saints will, of course, want to hit back after that defeat, 20 points to 18 to the Red Devils in round number 15. Castleford last beat St Helens in round 10 of the 2022 season, 30 points to 10 at the Jungle. The last win at Saints was the season before that, 2021, in round 19, a 20 points to 10 win. A certain Greg Eden scored a brace. We like a bit of Greg Eden on Super League Raw. St Helens, Knowles and Lomax to be confirmed and may return for this one. Batchelor, Whitley and Makeson all definitely out. McShane 50-50 is what we're hearing for Castleford. Mustafa may return. Right. Over to, we'll start with you, Greg. What's your thoughts on this one? Like I say, you've got to give Castleford a lot of credit. They've come up against 2 top 3 teams the last 2 games, and they've only lost by 3 points collectively.
Yeah, they have.
Will be that game where sensibility kicks in and Saints do a number on them?
Yes, in a word. I think Saints 52-10 could quite possibly be the final score. I think as well as Castleford have done, I think Saints have got to start kicking in and clicking now. And I think this quite possibly might be the game where it clicks. people are saying Saints aren't playing well. They're still top of Super League. It's not been the flea. I'm having trouble tonight. The free-flowing rugby that we're used to, the entertainers, the wide to west. But I think Saints now have got to start putting it together, and I think Saints are probably one of those teams that will benefit from a week off to reset and to go again. And I think they're going to win comfortably. I think it's going to be 18 plus.
18 plus, right? Yeah. Okay, Steph. 18 plus from Greg. Castleford, can they do it again? I mean, maybe they won't win, but can they keep it close like they have the last two?
Well, the form at the moment is not bad, is it? I think every credit's got to be given to Cass, because they could have rolled over and had the belly tickled this year, couldn't they? In terms of the way they started the season, and they have. I've said it before, but since they brought those young players in from Hull KR, that seems to have made a difference. And also our friend from Hull FC as well, who's playing quite well at the moment for them. So it's a really interesting game. I do want to say that how stupid is it? We've got 4 games on Friday night. No Thursday.
Three. 2 on 3. Yeah, 3 Friday, 2 Saturday, 1 Sunday.
Is it? I thought it was 4. Oh, well, that's me being daft then. But anyway, it's still stupid. We've not got a Thursday night game, so which is a prime. It's that for me. The reason I'm saying that is Thursday night now is now a Super League slot, isn't it? Everyone thinks it's a Thursday night game, and again, this comes down to marketing consistency.
Well, it's always down to forward thinking as well, because surely someone somewhere might have thought that on Sunday or Saturday, we may have an England game.
Yeah.
Surely somebody at some point has had a look at fixtures, and the Sky are quite happy to bring fixtures forward and change them at the drop of a hat when it suits them.
Yeah,
and I think it's the KR game that clashes with the England game.
No
game on Thursday. I know that might not benefit certain people, but could they not brought the KR game forward to the Thursday?
Greg, call me controversial, mate. I think I've probably watched combined 70 minutes of England in this championship. There's only one game I'm watching on Saturday.
Oh, me too. Me too, mate. Me too. I mean, if England football aren't the greatest advert for rugby league, this is where the RFL, their PR team, their marketing team, should be making a killing on the fact that football's our national sport, and yet, anyway, they should be making a killing on the fact that this is our national sport, and the dross that team has served up over 4 games is unbelievable. Anyway,
that's enough of England. Let's carry on. Let's carry on.
I digress.
Back to Super League.
Back to a proper sport.
I agree with Neil, actually, that Wigan and Leigh should have been on Thursday night, and then I could have gone instead of gone doing Fat Boy Slim. Anyway, that should have been the Thursday night game, 100%. But I think Alex Welland's got a 2-year contract. Is that right?
I'm not sure.
That Alex put in the thing he's got a 2-year contract. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I don't know about that.
No, I've not heard it either. I don't know. He just put it in the chat. So, but it would be funny if they did lose after they've just given him a 2-year. I think it's a Castleford. I think Saints are gonna. I think Reggie's right. I think the rest would have done Saints the world of good. And I think it's going to be 18 plus Saints. I hope it's not.
Neil Rennick thinks the same. Peter Mason says Saints 34-6. I'm also getting grief in terms of my odds. Sorry, Pete, I haven't got time to go all around the betting ones, mate. I just go with Betfred. They're the sponsor of Super League, so that's where I go, mate. I'm sorry, and they change all the time. So once I put the slide together, mate, it could be wrong, but hey,
they probably change it off our predictions.
Yeah, it's there for guidance, mate. It's there for guidance. Nothing more, nothing less. Alex Sharp, Cass 1-8, celebrate Welland's New Year contract. There it is. Neil Rennick, if Tigers win, I'll show my backside on the harbour. No, don't do that. Just donate 20 quid to MND.
Let's hope Saints win.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's a lot safer. Just 20 quid to MND. You know what I mean? We don't want to see your bum, Neil. In fact, we'd be delighted if that was the score. So we'd be all happy anyway. So 20 quid to MND. That'll do you nicely, mate. Is what I would say on that one. Nicola Burtonwood, Saints 9-17. Dawn Kirkby, Saints 18 plus. I mean, That's not any love at all there for Castleford. Here's one for you. Gary Schofield sees it Saints by 42. I think you said 52-10 a minute ago, Greg. Saints 18 plus, I'm going. Joel's gone Saints 9-17. The fans form have gone Saints 18 plus. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're very close. We've done the first 3 games. What you don't see is underneath the table, our legs are proper like stamping because it's time for a toilet break here at Super League Raw, just so we have energy for the last 3 games. So whilst we're doing that, you know what? Have you thought? Are you remember yet? If you're not a member, then why aren't you a member? Time to get closer. Let's go and refresh our glasses, boys, and we'll be back in a moment.
Are inviting you to become part of the fastest growing online community in Rugby League. Your contribution will enable us to continue to improve our current programmes and allow us to develop more so that you can enjoy Rugby League 7 days a week. Our 3 membership tiers provide everyone with an opportunity to create new friendships and experiences with like-minded Rugby League enthusiasts. 18th man membership. You will be supporting the work we do and contribute to our ongoing development. You will be entered into every prize draw as well as our monthly online quizzes. You will also have the opportunity of winning a season ticket by entering a team into the Super League Raw Mini Fantasy League. And you will also get a car window sticker to show that you're a part of this community. 6 again members. You will have increased entries into our prize draws and fantasy leagues. You will have increased shout-outs during Super League Raw every single week. You will have access to the Super League Raw WhatsApp group where you can talk with other members every single day. You will have 1 week advanced screening of our latest In Conversation With, and you will also have 3 invitations to the Final Whistle podcast recordings where you can have your say on the week's action. You will also be invited to a pre-game drink with Greg and I before your team's Warrington Wolves game at the Halliwell Jones. Team Talk membership. You get the maximum 3 entries into our prize draws and into our fantasy league. You will also have the opportunity to submit your question to the latest In Conversation guest, and you will be invited to every Final Whistle podcast where you will become a star of the show alongside the Super League Raw team. Memberships start from as little as £2.99 per month, so why not substitute a latte for 7 days of rugby league analysis and entertainment? Don't hesitate. Visit Patreon now and become a part of the fastest growing universal rugby league community online.
So there you go. That's how you do it. After the show, go over, have a quick look at our memberships, and do come and join the long list that are watching us this evening. The Super League Raw community. We are growing all the time. And actually, you know what? Now's as good a time as any. Let's just say it as it is. Only members, and here it comes, ladies and gentlemen, only members who join between now and the end of July. That's it. Between now and the end of July, only members that join between now and then will be entitled to be in the draw to join the Super League Raw team at this year's Grand Final. That's right. One of you lucky people will be coming to the Grand Final with the Super League Raw team. You'll meet us at the Piccadilly Tap, as always, for a few beverages before the game. We'll be going down to the game. We'll be watching the game together. You will be able to come and join me and the boys to watch the Grand Final in 2024. But only those members that are part of this membership by the end of July will be in that free prize draw. That's one not to be missed. Come and join the gang at the Super League party that is the Grand Final this year. Good a time as any to mention that. I'll keep mentioning it as we go through the month of July. Right, okay, Leeds Rhinos take on the London Broncos. Here we go, 35-11 since 1996. That's interesting, though. The last 5, 3-2 in Super League. That's a bit of a surprise, isn't it? As you can see, London, 5 losses on the spin. Currently, that's their form. 2 wins for the Rhinos. They will be buoyed, of course, by that win at the Rob Burrow Tribute Night against the Leigh Leopards. A great win as well. Brodie Croft, outstanding. Let's not forget that. It's 7 against 12. As you can see there, the for and against in terms of the attack, 274 for the Leeds Rhinos, 140 points scored for the Broncos. Defence, 270 for the Rhinos, 598 conceded for the Broncos. 1-80, but it's good news for you London Broncos fans. For the last few weeks, you haven't even been given odds by the bookies. You've got odds this week. You've actually got odds. Leeds have been given 1-80. That they've not been given any recently. The team that you've been playing, but they are 1-80. So you stand a chance in this. 14-1. Last outing was at Headingley, of course, in round number 10 between these two this season. 46-8. If you cast your mind back. one of Leeds' wins this season came at the mercy of London. London's last win at Headingley was round number 6 of the 2019 season, 18 points to 16. Leeds are expected to have Andy Ackers back from HIA, Sam Lizone and Tom Holroyd also as well. No new concerns have been announced for the London Broncos, and Dean Peratta may return, and Jack Campagnolo, he's been in training as well. No word that he's broken down or anything. He was in training before the break, so there's a chance that he may return as well for the London Broncos. So that's good news for them as well. Right, we'll start with yourself, Greg. Leeds Rhinos, they will probably want to kick on now, won't they?
Yeah. They've got the emotion of the game a couple of weeks ago out of the way. The emotion of obviously losing a coach. I think Leeds are going to win this quite comfortably, 18 plus.
Wow.
Not a lot more I can add to it. I'd be very, very, very surprised if London even push them close. Never mind win. 18 plus to Leeds.
As Jim Bowen once said on Bullseye when somebody said they didn't know the answer on the quiz, thanks for saving us time. Let's move on to Stef. Stef, your thoughts on the Leeds-London game?
Yeah, I think it might be a case of here's what you could have won.
What, you know?
It's better than a speedboat.
The sofa. DFS finest.
DFS sofa.
Yeah.
Chrome light switches.
Yeah, it's going in Alex's house, what I won off him. So, yeah.
Where's it going in Alex's house?
Well, we'll see. No, it's you'd like to think that the win against Leigh will have galvanised the Leeds team. I think it's just what that club needed in terms of bringing everyone together. And I think having that week off to get over the emotion of all that, and I think it's the perfect opponent to get London at home for Leeds. Obviously, they've got Newman and Hanley back now as well, which I think were big losses for Leeds. Even in that League game, I think they did miss those two, as good as the people who filled in played for them. So I am expecting a comfortable Leeds win. I've got 18 plus.
18 plus for the Leeds Rhinos. Of course, Greg has already said the same thing. No surprises. Gary Schofield, he's gone Leeds. He's saying by 48. He sees this as a massive win for Leeds to Schofield. I'm going Leeds 18 plus, as is the Fans Forum, as is Joel, of course. And as we always say, we wish our Joel well. We're looking forward to having him back in the not too distant future. It'd be great to have him back in the next few weeks. I'm sure he's watching us this evening. Right, okay. Hull KR taking on the Catalan Dragons. This is the second game on Saturday. It should be a belter at Craven Park. Really, really should be. The history since 2007, no surprises. Catalan, of course, been in great form over the last few years. 25-11 in the favour of the Dragons. The last 5, 4-1 in favour of the Dragons as well. The form, though, coming in, Willie Peters' men 4 on the spin, trying to make it 5. The Dragons, 3 losses in between 2 wins there, as you can see. They are in free fall. Hull KR have really cemented their top 6 ambitions in the last 5 weeks. As for the Dragons, they have been dropping quickly. You can see there where the main problem is. It's in the attack. 383 for the Robins, 288 for the Dragons. The defence is stronger on KR side as well. 1-3 on the Robins, 12-5 the Catalan Dragons. Now, if you look at Craven Park, you can see there 25-11 in favour of the Dragons. At Craven Park since 2007, it's 9-6, so a lot closer, a lot closer. 9-6, still in the favour of the Dragons, but a lot closer. Okay, I've scored 71 tries to Catalans 47 this season, and it is, of course, try scoring that's been pretty barren for the Dragons. I mean, Greg mentioned about Warrington, not getting much strike once they're in the strike zone. Well, is there a team worse than the Dragons at the moment with regards to that? Plenty of territory, not getting the punching power to get over the line. And here's an interesting side one on this one, gents, as well. No fewer than 11 Catalan Dragons players played this weekend in that the France-England game. If you turn it on the other side, only Minchella and Lewis for Hull KR. Could that factor into this one as well? But of course, let's not forget, it was against KR that Catalans probably had their best performance of the season this year in round 8 of Super League, where they beat KR 36 points to 6 in Perpignan. So there's a lot of narrative here. It depends which way you want to really see it. It's an interesting one, Steph. What's your thoughts on it? Again, should be a belting game.
Yeah, I think this has got potential to be game of the week for me. But I think it's a very valid point you make in terms of the amount of Catalan players that played this week and haven't had a rest. And then they've also got to travel to Hull, which is not the easiest place to travel to either. On top of the flying, you've also got to go up to Hull, which is another trip in itself. If you look at the form as well, Hull KR are flying at the moment, aren't they? And Craven Park is just a fortress at the moment. So, having seen both teams recently, I do think Hull KR are going to be too strong for them. I don't think it's going to be a battering, but I do see Hull KR doing them 9-17.
9-17, Greg, where are you at?
Yeah, I'm with Steph, and a couple of other people have commented that this could turn out to be the game of the week simply because it's so unpredictable. It should be predictable. We should predict a very good Hull KR win. But I'm not so sure. I'm with Steph. I think Dragons need to bounce back. I think they did have a lot of players in that team last week. Sometimes playing consecutive weeks, playing week in, week out, can be a lot better than a week off. And I think that, that there's a lot to be said for the Hull KR atmosphere. The travelling with Catalan is an issue, as Steph has said. But I think Catalan have underperformed this season as a whole, to be honest. And I think they'll want to put that right. I don't quite think this is the weekend they'll do it, but I think they'll put a good performance in. And I think KR will just about do it 9-17.
Fair play. In the chat, let's get in there. Paul Bourbon's gone KR by 20. Don Kirby, you wouldn't expect anything less. 9-17 to the Robins. Neil Rennick's by 12. He's going in there. Let's have a quick look. Any more? No, not many people getting involved. I think everybody pretty much thinking this could be a KR win. This is the way I see this one, gents. I mean, had Hull KR of won in Perpignan, I'd have felt a little bit that Catalan, maybe this would have been a bit closer. I think the fact that KR lost it, and they lost it badly, and KR are in incredible form. Not only are they going into this game in great form, they've got that in the back of their head. Let's be fair, they were embarrassed. I mean, they were embarrassed. The way KR were playing, they went over there, the preparation was right. They went days in advance. They should not have been turned over 36 points to 6 in France. They were, especially when you consider what Huddersfield did to him in the Cup. It was a real embarrassment if you're Hull KR. And Leigh, sorry, Steph. Yeah, that's right. And Leigh. So, from a KR perspective, that is an embarrassing scoreline that I think they're going to want to correct. Catalan aren't in great form. They've not been showing much attacking prowess. That said, Abdul will be well up for this, won't he? Absolutely well up for it. But I'm going 18 plus. I'm going 18 plus KR. I think KR, because of that loss and because they're in good form anyway, and because, let's be fair, 11 Catalan players played in that French team. And no matter what we say about the fans and the production and this, that, the other, you would hope it meant something to the French players. So to have been beaten by England again in the manner they were beaten will have hurt them. That will have affected them mentally. I think all things point here that if KR show up the way they have been playing, I think all things point to an 18-plus comfortable win for KR. I could be wrong. Gary Schofield sees it the same. He's gone KR by 24. Joel has gone KR 1-8. He sees this close, which is interesting. And the fans forum are seeing it KR 9-17. All for Hull KR. Hull KR, the team. Right, okay. Well, we're going to now start debating the final game of the round. And this is an interesting one, as well as the Salford Red Devils take on Hull FC. And we saw a much improved Hull FC against the Warrington Wolves. Of course, they won the week before as well against Leeds. So, Hull are showing signs that they're improving. If you look at the head-to-heads, 37-17 in the favour of Hull FC since 1998. The last four, though, look, the last 5, 4-1, to the Salford Red Devils. Salford come into this on a 3-game winning streak. They'll be wanting to make that a 4, 5th against 11th. The attack, nearly 100 points difference. Defence, nearly 200 points difference. 2-9 on the Red Devils, 100-30. Hull FC. Salford have won the last 3, including, of course, the double in 2023. Hull FC have not won at Salford since 2019. Hull FC have conceded an average of 31 points per game this season, but in the last 3, that has reduced to 17. The bad news is that in the same 3 games, Salford have averaged a scoring ratio of 26, so there's still improvement to be done there. Salford, Ryan Briley may return. Lafay still a doubt. Hull FC, Danny Houghton may return, but would you drop Balfour for him at the moment? Let's have a debate about that as we discuss in this, gents. Would you drop Denis Balfour for returning Danny Houghton? I know I wouldn't. Doubts for this over Leigh Sow, Cam Scott, Joe Cater, and definitely out is Jack Ashworth. That's the word on the street in this one. But yeah, let's start with you, Steph. First of all, in fact, let's just do that really quickly. Both of you, Steph, Balfour or Houghton?
Well, yeah, based on current form, you'd keep Balfour off him, but there's room for 2 hookers, isn't there? So I'd still on their bench. I think the thing is with Houghton is his defence and his tackles. That's what he brings to the team, and also that leadership as well. So I think there's room for both of them, but I would probably start Balfour.
Fair enough. Greg?
Yeah, agree. Bring Houghton off the bench.
Fair play. Completely agree. Like I say, 2019, the last time, Greg, that Hull FC got a win at the Salford Community Stadium. That's a long time between drinks. Can they do it? Can they do it? They are showing signs of improvement. SASA class. Truman's getting back into the groove. Balfour's in great form. They put a scare on Warrington the week before. A good win the week before that against Leeds.
Yeah. Leeds, you got to remember that Leeds this was the tail end of the Smith era. They hadn't been put together for whatever reason. Leeds weren't playing as a team. Warrington were out of sorts. And really, Warrington should have put the game to bed and allowed Hull to come back into it with some poor play, some poor decisions. I think, yes, Hull have improved, but Salford will be buoyed by their last performance. I think Salford are going to win this comfortably 18+.
It's a big shout. It's a big shout.
No, Salford. I think Salford, after that Saints game, as long as that
Leeds are chasing Salford. Leigh and Huddersfield are chasing Salford. So, I think all of us will be rooting for a Hull FC win here in terms of that respect.
I'm not.
Heavily, Steph, not necessarily.
but no, I mean, what you've got to remember with Salford, as good as they've been this year, is that the lower teams they've actually underperformed against. Typically, I would go for London away. Castleford. Yeah. So the teams that they're expected not to beat, they've brought in really good performances against. The teams they're expected to win, they haven't. So, and I would couple that with the fact that Hull FC have improved a lot since the start of the season. They put some very good performances in recently. I think this has got the potential to be a really good game. On form, you'd say Salford should batter them, but I don't think that'll be the case. But I do think Salford will win. I think that they will have enough, and I think I went 9-17.
You did. It's a good point. It's a good point. They lost to Castleford. You'd have expected them to beat that. They even lost to Leeds. I mean, you'd have thought that. 22 points to 16. Alex, who's watching, that was a bit of a surprise as well. That they didn't manage to turn Leeds over. But anyway, that's about it. What can you say? Get ready, boys. Get ready. Here we go. Let's reel it. Here we go. Any minute now, the bite will happen, I'm sure. Anyway, We go to Gary Schofield. He's gone on Salford 22 by 22 points. I'm going Salford 9-17, as is Joel. And the fans form see it comfortable, 18 plus for the Salford Red Devils. No love in the chat for Hull FC, which is really, really surprising. And do you know what? Of all of the games this weekend, this could be the surprise of all of them.
Yeah.
I think Wigan will be too strong for Leigh. I'm sorry, I do think that'll be the case. I think Warrington should beat Huddersfield. We'd expect Saints to win. You expect Leeds to win. I'd expect KR to win. But this is the one of all of the games. The way Hull FC, they're just growing up. And again, I've got to give credit to Grixer. I think what he's done since he's took charge of that team, fair play to him, deserves a lot of credit. And if they were to turn, let's be fair, a very good Salford Red Devils over at the weekend, it's going to be a very interesting chat from the Final Whistle podcast on Sunday, because, of course, that will be available for you to listen to. Round number 16's Final Whistle podcast will be recorded with the Team Talk members. You members out there that are Team Talk members, make sure you keep your eye out on your emails. That invitation will be coming your way over the weekend. Make sure you join us for a quality bit of debating all of the round 16 games this Sunday night. And, of course, for everybody who watches us and listens to us, just make sure that you download the podcast so that you can listen to it to work on Monday morning or on your way home from work.